What's up, everybody? It's the second episode of Portal Podcast.
Wow. I can't believe we actually turned the camera back on again.
It's us again. Alright, so what do you want to do first? You want to do Punisher first?
Well, let's just go into something that I want to talk to y'all about.
Okay.
Cyberbullying is not Cyber Monday. I'm just kidding. Anyway, Brandon Sanderson, everybody, just came out with a brand new book. It's called Oathbringer. It's the third book in the Stormlight Archive, which is said to be a 10-series book. Oh yeah, it's a fantasy series. It's not a... It's definitely not a cop drama, but I've been trying to turn Matt onto it. He
Still haven't given it a shot.
he doesn't seem to be understanding.
You were going to do this for the first week weekly wormhole, right? Or no?
Listen, I was, but it just came out, and I just want to let everyone know that I'm so happy that this guy exists. This series is going to be great, and it's awesome to be at the cusp of these books that are coming out. You know what I mean? It's cool to be with that moving thing. But
Are the comics that are written by him in the same universe? Because I know there's a series of comics.
I didn't even know he wrote comics.
Yeah, he does
Until you
writing for
told me.
some comic. It seems like it's in the same universe. It's like a very fantasy-looking thing. I didn't check it out yet.
This
so.
dude's prolific. All right. Anyway, though, I love Brandon Sanderson. Episode 2.
First thing we're going to talk about is Punisher?
Absolutely.
Go with that? Okay. So, I don't know if you watched the mid-season review. If you did, we're going to be going over the whole season now. And just off the bat, I got to say, probably like an 8.5 for me. Like, really good show. I think Daredevil's still a tiny bit better for my own personal taste, but Punisher is like right there.
I have a confession. I've never watched Daredevil.
That's crazy to me. That's how Punisher came into the Marvel Netflix
I
universe.
understand that. Now, I did see the prison scene way back when
from the
it came
second
out.
season of Daredevil, yeah.
Wow, holy cow.
Yeah.
That man is a legend.
Yeah.
Give him a show, is what everyone thought.
Mm-hmm.
So they did, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
This show is so badass, and I'm so happy that Netflix just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's so but the story, it's not sacrificing story.
No, it's
gore.
actually it's part of the story, you
Exactly.
know, because that's who this guy is, and that's one of the things that we talked about in the mid-season review. Another thing that we talked about was addressing PTSD, which they do throughout the show. I mean, if you're watching, you can understand that. First of all, Frank Castle, Punisher, is obviously suffering from PTSD. He has this flashback.
He was a Marine, right? Or
he was a special forces guy.
Okay.
And he has these flashback dreams throughout the entire show with his wife. And at first he's waking up in bed and he's talking to her, and then someone comes in and kills her, and then a few episodes later he's the one that kills her in his own dream, and it just keeps on.
We're seeing the cycle of guilt.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just grieving, basically.
Exactly.
And part of his grieving is shooting people in the head.
Yeah. Vengeance.
That's his thing. He's really good at it. Now I'm always forgetting this guy's name. Joe what?
Oh, Bernthal.
Joe Bernthal.
Yeah.
I fucking love this guy.
Yeah.
I've seen him in interviews. He is totally he's a class act, dude. He's a cool dude. He's nothing like
Method acted the entire season.
Exactly. Now, I don't think he's saying that just to be I method act.
Yeah, I'm a method actor.
Yeah,
I'm
a
Jacob
complete
Day-Lewis.
sociopath. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does talk. It makes sense for the performance that we saw. That this dude is fucking walking around all right, you're gonna give me that donut.
And he's got this right eye twitch too the whole time. He's like, yeah.
You're gonna give me that donut, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can see that he's going through PTSD in his own ways.
Absolutely.
And then as it goes on, he's got his friend Curtis who leads the meetings with other soldiers who are dealing with PTSD.
I thought he was gonna be evil at first.
Yeah. But you see this going on throughout the entire time, and then you meet Lewis, this definitely troubled kid who's in Curtis's group. And we talked about it at the mid-season review. He just killed the other member of the group, who was a kind of false valor type guy. And I said that he would be spared the Punisher's wrath, and I was a little bit wrong. He almost got all of the Punisher's wrath, wound up taking himself out of the picture.
That's how it had to end for that dude.
Yeah.
That dude had to fucking do it himself. Now he's, I don't know that much about what happens to these guys that come back, but to me it seemed like, this guy's walking around and he almost knows the answer the whole time. You know, it's fucked up what happens to these people. This being said and shown in the show, it's like, you know, it kind of brings us back to something that we're, you know, America collectively, or, you know, myself, and trying to just like kind of put aside.
It's using pop culture to address real issues.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is really cool, because this could have just been like a comic book show, you know, but they're actually bringing in real life issues and problems into it and making because of that, not only are they addressing real issues, they're making it grittier.
Exactly.
You know, because you're seeing this kid delve further and further into insanity. Like,
it's very real, man.
Yeah.
Like he's cut, like he
almost shoots his dad in that one scene.
He makes the fucking foxhole outside.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, he's going through a lot of shit.
Very, very well written show. I can't say enough about this fucking show. Now, also, I do want to say that Billy Russo, the guy from Westworld, you know, he has a name that's so horrible. Oh yeah, the fucking asshole.
That Westworld guy, yeah.
Dude, I didn't know he was British. Also, I didn't know Lewis was Australian. Kudos to both of those guys, pulling off a great New York accent, and you know, the Australians I think have a harder time with the English accents.
I would agree. There was something weird about
there was something
mouth
weird, you know what I
the
mean?
entire time.
Yeah.
But it kind of added to him going crazy.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of like helped his character along a little bit.
Dude, when he's beating the shit out of Curtis with his leg, though.
Oh god! And the whole
I thought
time,
Curtis died.
The whole time you see him like trying to hide his leg, like in the fight. You know, he's trying to poke the leg out further away from him.
Exactly. Alright, so is Punisher, Matt, do you think, is Punisher a hero, right? So do you redeem him, you know? Do you bless him for these you know, sinful killings?
I think this was a big thing, because I think that in the last scene you see Lewis when he's in the hotel and Lewis takes his own life, he compares himself to Lewis, and I think that unlike Lewis, who never really addresses the PTSD, he's always blaming somebody else. And he's not really looking for help.
Exactly. You know, whereas the Punisher is very transparent with himself.
But at that point, I think the Punisher starts to admit to himself that he does need help. Because that's a huge thing with his characters. He never really wants to work with Micro in the beginning. Micro has to like use leverage to get him to work as a duo.
Yeah. The guy that played David Lieberman was awesome.
Yeah, he was. He was. But I think Punisher's an anti-hero. Because I think that's the reason that you have the police going after him, and even people who know him, they don't seem to look at him like he is Daredevil, who has like a very straight up code of justice. He doesn't take life. He brings them to the justice systems that exist. Whereas the Punisher does not do that.
He's playing God. He's like, you fucked up
Judge, jury, executioner.
You did this and this and this and this, and also you did all that which killed my family, so therefore you must die. It's like, it's a crazy way of thinking, you know what I mean? And I can guarantee Punisher at the end of the show would probably say to himself, yeah, it didn't fucking help, you know, killing all those people. Yeah. It really didn't help.
But who's, I forget her name, the reporter that's in Daredevil that knows Frank Castle. I forget her name right now.
Oh,
the one that Lewis targets.
Sweet baby.
She looks like an elf princess
Paige?
or something. Oh, no, I don't...
I think it's...
something Paige, maybe. Anyways.
Yeah.
That girl, she even says it.
We've never watched the show, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. She says, I think Frank Castle's a tragedy. I think that's the, like, basis. Karen Page. But she says, I think Frank Castle's story is a tragedy, and I think that she's 110% right.
Absolutely.
The guy has everything taken from him in a horrible way. He's betrayed by his best friend, Billy Russo, and he's just out for vengeance, you know? And I think that because you feel so bad for this tragedy that is his life, it makes all the violence semi-justifiable. You know, no matter how ridiculous it gets, or how over the top, or how much it's just never enough for him, you're still rooting for him.
But exactly.
You're still rooting
That's what
for
the
him.
show is making you do, you know, it's making you feel that now.
Yeah.
Dude, it was a great show. You know what I mean? Great acting, great story. I swear to God, Marvel and Netflix and whatever the hell's going on with, you know, Disney, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's quality, and it's like, it's never lacking, you know what I mean? And, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, there will be a season 2, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, because of how it ended.
Yeah.
Ended with Billy Russo's pretty face getting ripped up to shreds. Horrible. Yeah. Horrible.
When he kills Sam and he's like, what did he say? Something about a pretty face, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because Sam says something about, like, fucking... Oh, no, because Sam said something about his pretty face when he first saw him leaving Madani's office.
No, but even...
So then Billy, after he kills him, is like, it's about, his pretty face. Everyone just talks about it the whole time. And after...
He's a good-looking guy.
But after I found out, or after I called it and saw that Billy was the villain, I looked up Billy Russo to see if there was any, like, comic book significance to that character.
And the name is Jigsaw.
And I saw a picture of the comic book character with just stitches all across his face.
So IMDb just, like, fucking spoiled.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I knew he was a villain. I knew he was a villain at that point, but I didn't know that he was about to get his face, like, cheese grated by glass.
I didn't know he was in cahoots with that fucking,
Rollins.
with the priest from The Sopranos.
Yeah, Rollins.
Another guy, I don't know his name, but he's that fucking asshole from that show.
Yeah, which I'm rewatching right now, on a side note.
Yeah,
I hate him just as much.
Anthony! Tony, you won't even look at me. What is it? Fucking
But Tony, I love you.
Alright, yeah, Punisher 10 out of 10. Billy Russo, he comes back as Jigsaw. Oh my god, fucking amazing.
He's in a coma at the end of the first season, like, we think he's not gonna come back season 2. Come on.
No.
But still really great.
Madani also, as, my Persian princess.
Yeah, Sam Stein annoyed me at first, and I felt really bad for him.
She's fucking British too!
That doesn't surprise me.
Dude, I love when the accents are pulled off so well.
Yeah.
We can't do that, Americans.
I feel like the tell is always the mouth movements. There's something like too small or something about their enunciation, you know what I mean?
Because everything's like a little just tight and it's just like, it's very quick.
Because with Lewis, you see him like talking out of the side of his mouth a lot. Yeah. He's always over here, you know?
Yeah, and granted, most of their lines are kind of always said in this kind of voice.
Yeah.
It's always easier to keep an accent like that.
Yeah, I would agree.
But yeah, dude.
Any further thoughts?
Yeah, my final thought is watch Punisher over again.
Yeah.
Sarah Lieberman's a total MILF. Alright.
Oh, and that happened. Sorry, one last thing before we get on. We were talking about it at the mid-season review.
Yes.
God, I hope he doesn't do anything. She's the one that kissed him. Thank God it didn't go any further. That made me feel a little bit better, but I still felt really horrible seeing that, and I knew I would. You know?
You know what? That just made me hate Micro.
It turns out
made me hate David.
Really?
Dude, I mean, kind of. Listen, I get what he did.
Because you gotta understand where he is. I mean,
I get what he did, but why can't he just fucking tell them, like, hey, you know?
Because if he contacts them and they find out they're dead, he doesn't want to take that chance. That's his family, you know?
Yeah, but you just can't, like, tell her, like, you know, just like, hey, I'm alive. You know, I mean, granted, she'll probably fucking freak the fuck out.
Yeah, how are you gonna tell her, too? You're gonna email her, text her, some kind of, like, you know what I mean? Like, the CIA is after this guy.
Yeah.
If he, like, sends a carrier pigeon, they'll shoot it out of the sky and fucking figure it out. You know what I mean?
Not even the CIA, though. It's like the fucking, it's like the worst of the worst.
Yeah, like Black Ops secret shit. But anyways, really great show. I loved watching it. I thought it was really good. Also, 13 episodes. Thank God. Thank God for having, like, enough content for a season. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Crown or Kill It! Wow!
So for this week's Crown or Kill It, we're gonna kick it off with kind of a strange, like, I don't know, it's like just a
I didn't want this to be on the list, I gotta tell you.
Fair enough. But Prince Harry and Prince William of England, the country, are rumored to be being cast as stormtroopers, similar to what happened with Daniel Craig.
I don't really care, okay? Listen, it's cool that they did it. They probably had, you know, it was probably done with ease. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're just fucking bumping into because they do film in London or England. So it's just like, yeah, definitely. Okay. So I think it's just like, hey, you want to be this guy that, you know, no one's going to fucking know you, you know? So whatever, I kill it, I crown it. I don't, you know, it's just,
okay.
I'm going to do a little bit of both.
I think as long as it's, like, subtle, like Daniel Craig, crown it. Because you know what I mean? Again,
unless he takes his helmet off, then
it's annoying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what I'm thinking about. Is like, okay, the guy's royalty. You know, whatever. I don't really care about that as long as it doesn't become about that. You know what I mean? Like Daniel Craig just wanted to be in Star Wars.
That guy takes his fucking helmet off, and I'm pulled out of the fucking Skywalker saga. Fuck no. All right.
So
Watchmen TV series. Yes. Now, this is kind of exactly why Matt's all with the pin and the mustache.
Comedian mustache.
If you ever seen Watchmen,
for those of you watching.
Yeah. If you ever seen Watchmen, you know it's a very popular graphic novel.
Yeah.
Also, it was a movie made in the early aughts, I believe, or the late aughts.
No, early.
Early aughts. And there's going to be a TV show. Now, I'm gonna kill this shit right off the fucking bat.
That's interesting.
Let me tell you why. Because we already had a movie. We already had the movie. I don't think the movie was that bad where it's like, oh shit, we really gotta rebrand this. Only thing I could think of as to why they would do this, and I guess it does kind of have to do with Disney taking over and making their imprint on this thing.
No, well, this isn't Marvel. This isn't Marvel. This is Vertigo, which is a property of DC. They have nothing to do
See,
with it.
I'm just stuck in Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, so never mind. The only reason I would say that they would do this is because they're coming out with a new book, Doom Clock. If that has anything to tying into the book, then I'm all good with it. But if it's just the same fucking movie over again, I'm gonna kill it.
There's very little details out. So I get where you're coming from, and a lot of the reason why I'm gonna crown it is kind of just hopefulness. They have a lot of other source material that they could use.
Well, you also just read the thing.
I did, yeah. It is going to be my weekly wormhole, so stay tuned for that. But I don't know. Just based on hopefulness, I'm going to crown it because I think that they have so much source material, and they have so much more time to do a lot of the things that they couldn't with a 2-hour movie. Right?
Just don't feed me the same fucking.
No. I would agree with you. I would agree with you. If that's what happens, I'm going to be annoyed. But I think you could still go into the before Watchmen. You could go into Watchmen, maybe even into Doom Clock. Doesn't depending on how many seasons you get. So I'm gonna crown it. I think it's a cool idea to bring it back.
I'm just a dick, I guess.
Bringing us to our next topic, still in the Watchmen universe, Doom Clock the graphic novel has been released. I haven't read it yet, but I got into
Wait, it's out?
It's out.
When did it come out?
It came out the day of this recording, like 4 days ago. It came out a few days before Thanksgiving.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I still haven't got my chance to get my hands on it yet. But
now tell the people what the lovely guy at the comic book store told you.
Yes, at Gotham Comics in Caldwell, New Jersey.
What's up, baby?
I was told that the rumors are that Doom Clock will follow Dr. Manhattan after his storyline in Watchmen when he goes to a different universe to go create his own society. Now,
what's that society called?
The DC Universe. According to what I've heard. I haven't read it yet, but it makes sense because I don't know if you could see the pin. If you're watching the video, I'll show you a close-up of the pin. It's the clock, the Doomsday Clock from Watchmen. Instead of having midnight on it, it has Superman's logo. So, it would make sense to me that Dr. Manhattan, being able to manipulate all these molecules and atoms and whatever, can create a universe where superheroes like himself are abundant. Mutations and all
this. It really
this.
is just on there.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell you.
Would you stay up all night thinking about that?
Maybe a little bit. A few hours.
So for that reason, I'm going to crown this.
Crown. I don't know why I wouldn't crown it. It sounds awesome.
If you're going to take me to a prequel, I'm down for it all the time. I'll take the risk. I love seeing how storylines get stitched together backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, prequel to all DC.
People have...
To all of DC is the idea.
But just prequel in general, right? Yeah. We're gonna see some characters we know, but younger. I'm gonna crown it. Moving on.
This topic.
I got this one.
You got it? Okay. All right.
All right. So you ever been on vacation on the boardwalk at the movies playing the video games that they have in the arcade, and you see that total fucking just craziness that is a lizard shark versus a
Reptar, wolf, and Donkey Kong.
Yeah, so it's a wolf, a fucking monkey, and a lizard, right?
Yeah.
A huge lizard, and radioactivity just happens to spill on them, and they're fucked up and they're huge. I didn't ever think while I was playing that fucking stupid game, I would love to see this on the silver screen.
Yeah.
What a fucking money grab. I mean...
You're leaving out the best part.
What?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the main star.
That's what I'm talking about, right? It's a money grab. It's just like, all right, Dwayne, we have a movie. I'm down. It's fucking... I
don't need the details.
I want it.
So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is leading Rampage turned into a movie, and my God,
This is like the high budget Sharknado. This is just like, it's just like it's fucking...
I wish we could abort it. I wish we could abort it, kill it before it even existed, but somehow, some way, it's coming to the movie theaters on 4/20, so... I don't know why.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You gotta be stoned to enjoy it.
Wait, what the fuck's going on?
A giant lizard.
Yeah. Alright, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, you can lead this one.
All right, Kingdom Hearts 3. Y'all know what it is, right? Another Disney type thing, right? You know, it seems like there's no gender in this universe. Everyone's just androgynous.
Yeah, it has like these long spiky hair.
Kira! Like everyone's name is just so it could go either way.
Yeah.
And then there's Mickey Mouse and fucking Goofy,
Woody, Buzz
Yeah.
Lightyear, all these fucking people.
Literally everything. You know, it's just it's a fucking it's a little kid in Japan's fever dream. And you know what? It's actually a pretty fun game. It's not totally that polarizing where I would, you know, go out and, you know, wait in line to fucking buy it.
No, definitely not.
I'm just happy to see that a franchise like this is still pumping out something, and I crown it.
You gonna crown it? I'm gonna kill it. I don't know.
Wow.
When I was a kid, I thought it was cool. It's like Final Fantasy meets the Disney universe, and
That's what, yeah.
you know, you get to like adventure around with all these characters that you know. And I've always been a big Disney fan, but I fell off, man. It just doesn't grab me. It's just kind of, the more I think about it, actually, the stranger it is to me. I don't know
Come
why.
on, man. You
Final
play fucking
Fantasy-
Stranger Games, though, man.
I don't.
right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't get it really anymore. I don't understand how like anime.
you're gonna kill it?
Yeah, I'm gonna kill it. I don't want it. I'm not gonna buy it.
Alright, you know what? I have faith in Kingdom Hearts. Now, what's the next topic, Matt?
For another third sequel, we're going with Crackdown 3. Crackdown 3, on the other
A lot
hand,
of trilogies.
I am so fucking excited for, because that is going to be crazy. I was looking up all the videos and all the E3 gameplay for it. This game it's going to a different city, unlike the first two games.
What city? Is it made up city? Or is it
It's all made up cities.
Oh.
But this city is run by a terrorist cell as opposed to having like gangs running it or whatever. But the weapons are bigger and better and fucking crazier. You know, the cars are.
And you can jump really high.
They added a double jump, which seems small, but adding a double jump changes that game. Anyways, you also get a jetpack, and you know all the buildings are destroyable. The entire city can be leveled if you choose to. I just can't wait to get my hands on this. I would crown it 30 fucking times if I could. I'm
gonna crown it too. The times I have played this game, it's just a good game experience. It's just fun to play. You
It's
know,
unique,
it's
man.
just it feels like nothing that you played before. There's it's like I could think of maybe one other game. It's like Gears of War on fucking on mushrooms, I think.
Yeah, like Gears meets Sunset Overdrive or something like that, where you're just
That's
like
pretty good,
flying around the fucking city, but you're just this big, bulky, like, destroyer.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna crown it. Alright, next topic. Ray's Lineage released in Battlefront.
I have my feelings on this. I'll let you take it away first.
I'm gonna kill this. I don't think it's cool. I
would agree with you.
You know, why not just hold on until the movie comes out, which is, you know, it's not like fucking, you know, that long away. How many days? It's like it's less than a month away.
Yeah.
Why not just release it in tandem? If you even, you know, say it, because if they're releasing this in the game, the reveal has to be in the movie. Yes or no? You think so? I think so.
Yeah, I mean, because the game's canon. But anyways, not delving into what they're leading you to believe at the end of Battlefront.
I'm gonna kill it, yeah.
I'm gonna kill it as well, because it's still just like a rumor. You know, like, it's this thing that they won't just come out and say it, so I can't believe that they're 100% on what they're leading you to believe at the end of Battlefront. Like, if they really wanted you to know that Rey's parents are this person and this person, why not just say they're this person and this person? If you play the game, you'll see what I mean. It's still vague. It's still like leaving them the opportunity to be like, well, no, that's not really Rey's parents. Rey's parents are...
So they're almost just like, you know...
They're toying with it.
No, I mean, not even toying with it. They're just kind of just like... I'm trying to think of a word here. They're just trying to like soften the blow, because it's just like, you know, they're trying to like trick you. It's like, oh, it is this, but no, it's not, because it's a spoiler and the movie hasn't come out.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's fucking
playing
bullshit.
coy, so I'd kill it.
It's absolute bullshit. EA's got their fucking heads up their asses.
And that's the end of Crown It or Kill It for this week.
Wow, a lot shorter than last week. We gotta, you know, we kind of realized that we've got to keep it quick, baby. Alright, so, moving on. Next topic is of the video game variety. Of the free video game variety, and it's a beta right now for $0. It's a sweet game called Fortnite, and it fucking rocks. We've been playing it the past 2 nights. You know, if you've ever played PUBG, I mean, I haven't, but from what I've seen, it seems like it's the same shit, you know. You kind of start with like bare bones, nothing, like a pickaxe to harvest, you know, your tools.
And a melee weapon.
And a melee
Which
weapon.
you're screwed if you try to face somebody who has a gun.
Exactly.
Already.
And like you're dropped out of this big fucking bus, and it's a big map. It's like 100 people, right?
It's a massive map.
Massive map.
Massive map. Like all these different areas and stuff, completely unique.
So with 100 people, you're like, how the fuck is anyone gonna kill each other, right? These geniuses came up with the idea of
a storm system.
Yeah, explain how that works. Yeah.
So the storm system, you drop on and like, you know, there's this big circular island map like we said that you start out in, and as more people die, then you see the number ticking down the side of your screen. You can see how many people are still alive out of the 100 that start.
And there's a kill feed too.
Yeah. So as those people die out, the game sees where you are and starts to close in the storm. So if you're outside of that storm as it closes in on certain areas where most people still exist, you start losing health.
So you're forced to fucking...
You're forced to face off with other
see each
people.
other at some point. Now, this game does a really good job of making you just fucking, like, nervous. Like, nerve-wracking, right? Because the whole time you have all this shit, you know, but you can hear people's footsteps unless you're crouching. So if anyone's near you, you'll definitely hear them. You can hear them fucking reload. You know what I mean?
Because you're scavenging, and when the early game is still going on and most of the map is still in play, you can camp. The storm does a good job of moving quickly to stop a lot of camping, but like if you're in one of the populated areas, one of the towns in the game, not just like the random shacks in the woods, there's a bunch of people running around that main area. So you'll hear them breaking through walls looking for loot, and you can try to sneak up on them, or maybe they'll hear you doing the same thing. So it is very intense when you're like, especially in the beginning of the game.
Absolutely. Now, a feature that kind of lends itself to the name is the ability to harvest these materials, such as, you know, a stone, wood, metal and shit, and you can literally build in real time, you know, like a fucking wall or stairs. You know what I mean? You're breaking into attics looking for loot crates that you can hear. Like it's like a tone. This game is it's addicting. I could tell you that.
And it's so simple. That's what gets me.
So simple. Now, the graphics kind of had me like a little turned off at the beginning, but once you start playing the game, you realize that this game, it doesn't need to focus on the graphics because there's all these other features, such as what we just said.
Yeah, the gameplay just overrides that it looks a little childish. That doesn't bother me at all because of how well the game plays.
Exactly. It's a fucking sweet free game. You know what I mean?
For now, I'm interested to see what happens when it comes out of beta.
I want to see if there's going to be other, you know, like what other game modes they'll have.
Oh, well, they already have one. That was another thing I was going to bring up. So, what we've been talking about is called Battle Royale. That's the 100-player player versus player mode that is free beta for Xbox, PS, and maybe PC. I'm pretty sure PC. And one thing we didn't touch on that before we move on to the next mode is that you can play solo, in a duo, or as a 4-man squad. So it isn't just you versus the world if you don't want it to be. That's
once again, kind of like, you know, PUBG, where you're, you know, with your squad, you know what I mean? Now, you can build, like, sweet forts in PUBG, but in this game, it's like, you know...
It's a little more simplified.
It's simplified, but it's because there's so much other shit going on, you know? Like, you hear people's footsteps. It's awesome.
But the other mode... The other mode is a player versus environment that I believe is called Survive the Storm. Survive the Storm
is... solo?
No, you can play again. I think it's a single, duo, or squad. I'm not sure.
But not multiplayer.
No, you can bring in other people.
Online, I mean.
It is online.
Oh,
it's online co-op, basically.
Okay.
So it's a wave defense mode. You're playing against zombies and other AI-controlled enemies, but you cannot play it unless you buy into the pre-alpha version of Survive the Storm.
Which you were saying you wanted to.
I'm going to. I haven't done it yet, but I've looked into it, and it looks like just a shit ton of fun.
It's honestly kind of more fun than Battlefront, I gotta say.
Yeah, I
gotta say, you know, and like that's kind of fucked up because Battlefront...
It's not as pretty, but...
It's not as pretty, but the replay value on this game is awesome. I'm excited to see where they go with this.
Yeah.
And also I'm excited that Public Underground, that similar game, is coming to next-gen consoles, right?
Yeah, that's what our buddy Dan was saying, Dan Freeman. I hope you listened to the podcast. He told me you would. Anyway, so player versus environment, Survive the Storm. The last thing I want to touch on is if you buy into the pre-alpha, there's a few different versions of your buy-in that you can do. So the $40 buy-in, which is the cheapest, allows you to play the game, Survive the Storm, as well as Battle Royale. But if you start paying in more money, they're offering you a lot of things like loot crates and customizable stuff, right? So you can make your pickaxe look like a scythe or like a baseball bat with nails in it. Shout out to Stranger Things.
Yeah. You can get like a skeleton,
like bodysuit kind of thing,
which is cool. You know what I mean? Like
it's all cosmetic.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the gameplay at all. That's just completely customizable.
Yeah, I
love it.
Love it. Can't say enough good stuff. Now, Matt, you want to lead us into the weekly wormhole?
There it is. I was waiting for it. All right.
I hate myself too.
No. It's fine. This is a trademark now.
It's good.
It's 2 episodes in a row. So we have Watchmen, in honor of
oh my god,
the comedian's mustache, the Doom Clock button we got here. Yeah. So, Watchmen is awesome. Watchmen is, I think it was released in the mid or late 80s, and it is a crazy story where masked Avengers, I guess you could call them, because they're not truly superheroes. They come into our world at about the 60s. And they would just want to fight crime. They have no superpowers. They're not Superman. They don't have lasers.
They're vigilantes.
They're vigilantes. They're vigilantes, right? And as this is going on, the Cold War breaks out, just like it did in real life. Except in this version, when we go into the Cold War, we have Dr. Manhattan, who is I don't even know how to explain him.
He's a tragedy of a living specimen. This guy is made up of atoms and storms.
He reconstructs himself.
Yeah. Now we don't have to tell the people
all the
everything about. Yeah. But this is a very it's a very cherished DC.
Yeah.
DC trademark.
Just touching on a few more things. So the story starts out with one of the characters, the comedian. Rest in peace, mustache.
Nobody gets that but you.
I know, I don't care. Someone will get it eventually.
I don't.
Just read the comic. Anyways, so it starts out with the comedian dying, which is not a spoiler because it literally happens on page 1. So the comedian dies, and that sets in motion a big...
He gets thrown out a fucking window.
Yeah, a skyscraper window. So that sets in motion the entire plot of the story. It's just crazy to see this like historical fiction in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because JFK still gets assassinated. Who does it is different and interesting. Vietnam is won in like a month because instead of having to fight people on their own turf, we have Dr. Manhattan who can make himself the size of a skyscraper and explode people by just poking them.
Yeah. With his dick.
With anything, it doesn't even matter.
With my nuclear dick.
But and then the Cold War is like, we're not even really concerned with it for the most part because it's like we have Dr. Manhattan. You just like put his hand up and stop all the nukes. It doesn't even matter. So we're not worried about the Cold War. America is like the absolute #1 superpower.
Yeah.
And then because of the events of the book, starting with the comedian dying, it all gets thrown to shit. The world starts going crazy. And the artwork, by the way, it's beautiful. Like the colors that they choose, really cool. They give it this whole, especially because they follow Rorschach, who is like. He's just very black and white, and that's referenced by his mask. Which
He's a very morose guy.
He is,
yeah.
But his morality is strict, and he is like very much like that old school detective. He's got like the overcoat and the hat.
Eating beans out of a can.
He's always skulking around.
How different is this from the movie? Now, is this more rich in like story?
Yes.
Because
yes.
People that have seen the movie, like I want to know if this is a different experience.
It is. It is. They tried to do a lot of things in the movie to reference the comic, obviously, and I think in a lot of ways they did a good job. I think Rorschach was probably the most accurately portrayed character, and he is. I'd argue that even though everyone has a big role in this, Rorschach is probably the main character in the story.
Yeah. Rorschach.
But they did a very good job showing Rorschach as he is in the comic. I think that they got a little gimmicky with Dr. Manhattan in the movie. Dr. Manhattan in this, I sympathize with him a lot more.
I mean, he's a fucking blue naked guy.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard to keep.
Yeah, but in the movie, it was like, let's try and show this blue naked guy's dick as much as possible. It really was, and in this, it's not. A lot of times they're like subtly hiding it because it's like,
all you had to do is just show it to us once. It's like, okay,
we get the picture.
Okay, he still has a dick. Now the other 2 times you're showing me, it's not like, oh god, he came back.
Yeah. And I think part of why they do that, comic and movie, is to show that, like, as the story goes on, he's really becoming more and more, like,
also sex
dehumanized. He's not dehumanized. That's not the right word. But he's becoming less and less
He's like
of a human.
Yeah, he's unhumanized.
Yeah, exactly. Unhumanized, probably better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would think it is more rich. The colors that they chose, like I said, really, really cool. Each of the personal stories of these characters is more fleshed out.
Now, is it like your run-of-the-mill DC comic book, or is it kind of is it dense? Is it like a warm, soft cookie? You know, like
it's
how is the
dense? It's dark. The ending is great, but I don't know. I just feel like you gotta leave this comic feeling like, damn. You know, it's just.
It's a sad story.
It is sad, and some character stories wind up being a tragedy. But in the end, you're just left like not confused, but like conflicted, because it is in a lot of ways a happy ending. But in some ways, and for certain people, a really sad ending.
Because things don't get tied up.
No,
Yeah.
well, they do get tied up, but it's
some storylines.
its morality is shown to be much more gray in the end. You know, like it's not so clear cut who the good guy is, who the bad guy is, what's the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do, and that's a really core part of this entire story.
Yeah, that's probably got to be like one of the big
yeah.
What do you call it?
Themes,
yes. Yeah. Thematics.
So like I was saying, I really couldn't put it down. This story it's rich in all these different characters, the extremely different psychological profiles. You know, each character is extremely different from the next, but all of their stories are just as enveloping and engrossing. It's just extremely entertaining. It's dark.
Now, do you think like this came out, you know, around this like the time? Because I think Marvel was just kind of getting their shit together, maybe, right? So, I think their take on this was like, you know, well, if they could have a kid talking to his aunt for 2 or 3 pages and
Spider-Man.
kids still buy it, exactly, yeah. You know, then, you know, maybe it is about characters. So, I don't know, maybe I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just pissing in the wind with that, but to me it seems like, you know, a step in the right direction as far as character development and actually bringing a superhero, you know, or not superheroes, you know, showing how...
No, I think you're right on that. I think you're right on that because this came out in the day and age when, like, there wasn't as serious or as large a comic book culture where it was, like, cool to have these dark, realistic characters. You know, you're more thinking of, like, what is it, Calvin and Hyde or whatever, the like Kid and the Tiger, or like, you know, Archie or something like that. You know,
very whimsical.
Yeah, childish almost, like the comic strips in newspapers.
It sounds like you would give it a 10 out of 10 if you were asked.
Graphic novel over movie. I'll be that guy. Book was better than the movie.
But you saw the movie first.
Yes, so. I did, and that's what kind of drew me in. But definitely a great read. I paid $20 for it. I would pay twice that easily.
You'd also buy a hardcover.
I would buy the hardcover. I'd buy.
You're that dude.
I'd buy the noir. That's like a special black and white version of it. I'd buy everything that has to do with Watchmen.
Yeah, everything. I'm gonna get a tattoo actually of this stash. And
yeah, once I shave it, I'm just gonna get it tattooed.
Yeah, so I'm all Watchmened out.
So tell people, what are you talking about? What's your weekly wormhole?
My weekly wormhole was up in the air. Well, you know what? Last week's weekly wormhole I thought was pretty shite. You know, and...
Strong words.
Yeah.
Strong words indeed.
They are pretty, you know, strong words. But I'm going to talk about a book that you know, one of the few books that I've actually bought on just a random whim. The Postmortal by Drew Magary, I don't know. He is, he's like an article writer, basically. I mean, he's definitely, you know, a well-established novelist. But at the time, I don't know if this is like 2011 or whatever, but, you know, he was just like a column writer dude. You know, he wrote for like Rolling Stones, ESPN, like that type of shit. But he basically, this book, it's a nice, quick read. Like, you could read it taking a shit, really. Not really, though. This book depicts a future, near future, where the cure for aging has been, you know, it's been honed and people are getting it. And people start getting, you know, their like cure date, right? So, say my cure date was April 16th, you know, 2085. I would be 23 until forever, right? Like, I don't age at all. So obviously this book goes into you know, the bad of living forever, right? People have been living for so long and, you know, there's just not enough fucking room or food. People are, you know, making up drugs that are like gasoline and shit. living in like huge, just like states of cars, just cars that don't work anymore, and they live in these cars, and the protagonist, whose story is basically told by a series of
journal entries or something?
journal entries, exactly.
Okay.
And it's like a recovered journal entry type of book. There's also a business that you learn that specializes in taking out people. So people that, you know, it's like assisted suicide basically. This book it's really harrowing in that it's so close in the future that you know, it doesn't seem completely out of the realm of possibility. It's a really good book, man. I read it in like a night and a half. I just couldn't put it down. You know, it's engrossing. You know, at the end of each chapter, it's like a date modified. You know, 2019. So you know, I read it in like 2012, but it's still kind of very grim because it's so close, and a lot of this shit I could see happening. You know, it goes into like the politicians talking about it, and just how living forever is not a good look. All right.
So, I mean, just from what you're saying, I think, like, obviously one of the big questions of the book is, like, what's the value of life? Especially if you never die.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, what other things do you think it addresses? Like, thematically, or just, like... Like, what would you say is the moral of the story, even?
It kind of addresses how the world of romance is changing as well. And the connection that used to be there with people aging together is, like... You know, you don't know if this fucking woman is 45 or if she's actually, you know, a year after her cure date. Like, some people think it's fucking bullshit and they just die. You know? Like...
That's another question that comes to mind, though. Can
like
everybody afford the cure?
Exactly, no.
Okay.
Not everybody can afford the cure.
That's interesting.
So it's like, you know... I would say, you know, I was going to say, like, a father in North Caldwell, which is a town by us, which got a little bit of bread. They probably could afford at least 1 or 2 cures.
Okay.
It's a really, really good book. The main character is John Farrell. Is about to get the cure. Old age can never kill him now. The only problem is everything else still can. So, also it kind of talks about, like, the backlash that like, the Earth is almost... pushing against, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like something stirs awake in like the core of the earth, and it's just like, you know, they know that something is not right. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking,
yeah, the balance is off.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
It just it's a really, really just good little book. You know, I think for a weekly wormhole, because I don't really know if this guy's that well known. Like I said, I just kind of just picked it up on a whim, but I think he's written more books since then. So definitely check it out, man. It's really cool. I like the cover a lot. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, cool. That actually fucking drew me to it. But I looked it over. Yeah, good little book. My next weekly wormhole will be a big little fucking book, and it's not gonna be this one. Because I didn't finish this one yet.
So what do you say? You want to wrap it up? Get to the last one?
What is the last one?
The last one is Battlefront 2, presented by EA.
Do we even have to say anything?
I mean, I think so. I think we still got to approach it.
Alright, what are the facts here? What are the facts? How much money? Is it an unreasonable amount of money? Because you said that they halved the prices because people were bitching so much.
Yeah, everybody complained so much that EA actually tweeted out that they were going to reduce the prices. They said, "You keep talking and we'll keep listening," as if like they really listened at all. If they listened, they'd hear that we already gave you money.
Hey, we just dumped a whole fucking bunch of shit on you, but listen, let us know if you need help cleaning it.
Yeah.
It's basically what they did. It's
this loot crate system that I guess they've just been like inching towards for a long time is getting so out of hand, because I bought it, I beat the campaign. Okay, so let's go piece by piece on this one.
Oh God, we're fucking class.
We'll start with the campaign.
All right.
I bought the game used, because I figured, seeing everything that I had, seen online and heard and read or whatever, that it's basically I'm not gonna be that happy with it. So I expected to have to return it, and I wanted to get my money back. The campaign took me 6.5 hours to beat, and
over 2 days.
Yeah, pretty much
You weren't
overnight,
sitting there like
though.
a fucking madman, just like, I gotta finish this. Darth Maul, I'm Darth Maul.
But it's just, the campaign just gets so fucking stagnant.
Being Kylo is sick for 10 minutes.
It's repetitive.
This just seems like such a stupid way to release a fucking game. I don't think that they did a good job of releasing it out.
It sucks because, I'll say a couple good things about it too. It sucks because the game looks great. The game sounds great.
It feels great.
It does a good job of making this world still really entertaining, especially worlds that you've already been to through the movies or the previous games. They're still great looking, and you wish that there was a better experience in those worlds, though. That's the problem for me. They rely too much on nostalgia, I think. It doesn't have any replayability.
It's like a Destiny.
It doesn't have any replayability.
Listen, I don't know about that, okay? And it's just me, right? I love Star Wars dearly. I think the multiplayer for the first Battlefront was excellent. I thought that was cool with the jetpacks and stuff. I haven't really played this game. It just seems like a bad release of a game. If this was Crown It or Kill It, I would kill it.
Yeah.
Basically.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm returning it after playing it for 2 days.
Alright guys, so basically we just told you a bunch of shit that we cared about, and we hope that you enjoyed it. And if not, you're probably asleep, or, anyway. But please, join us again next week for the next edition of
In 2
Portal
weeks.
Podcast. 2 weeks.
2 weeks from now.
I'm sorry. 2 weeks, and we're probably going to be talking about a bunch of other shit. Probably talk about some Star Wars, bring you some old gems that we find good, and maybe, you will too. Take our words for it.
Forgetting one big piece.
What?
We will be doing giveaways. We're going to be getting pop toys. So any new subscribers to our YouTube channel will be entered into a raffle to receive a pop toy. So please stay updated. You'll hear about that through our Facebooks and Instagrams and all that.
We're just trying to let you in on our conversation. So if you like Portal Podcast, please subscribe. If you want to listen to it, in your car or on your iPod, we're going to be doing individual episodes, like Star Wars episodes, and we got a lot of stuff working right now. We're just trying to, see if it's possible. And we just thank you guys for your time, and hey, stay sweet, rock on. Love you, brother.
See you next time.